Hi everybody, I am in a band. And well, we used to do band stuff with monitors, so those big speakers in front of you, you sing inside of a microphone, and those monitor speakers just push back the same sound you're just recording, which is directed directly to that microphone, which makes sure that you get that beeping sound like me. You don't want that. So many of the professionals have created wireless monitoring systems, and those are pretty expensive. They could mount up to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of euros. Yes, I'm from the Netherlands, so we use euros, not dollars, but there's currently not that much of a big difference between them. Anyways, those are expensive. And I like to tinker things. And I was thinking, can we not do these things much more cheap? Well, I did. And I've got a band of in total 6 persons, and in the description below I will tell you how much it costs, but basically per person just a couple of, I don't know, 10, 20 euros per person to make this happen. And even if you make a really advanced version, it's still not going to cost that much more. And it all fits in this little box over here. There it is. That's all that I needed to make that happen. All right, I'm going to explain that and then show you a bit about the details. Now, what I bought online to make that happen was the following. So I'm going to show you my screen, and this is from AliExpress. That's where you get these things the cheapest. And basically what I bought was this to test it first. I bought this, which is a combination of I'll zoom in a bit. Yeah, a UHF hi-fi wireless audio digital transmitter and receiver. Um, and UHF is important because UHF is the frequency band that is permitted to use for these kinds of things. You could use the FM band, which usually is used by normal radio stations to use, but that is not permitted to use. So you could end up with complaints from neighbors if you want at a venue and you're performing, and perhaps they are complaining because the neighbors can pick up that signal on their radio as well. You don't want that, and if they complain and they get the police, then well, you're screwed. So this is important that you have this UHF, which is totally permitted, and I even think in every place in the world you can use this, and it still has a really, really, really good range. For instance, I tried a range of these things, the transmitter and the receiver, and I could walk about, I don't know, about almost 100 meters. That's a lot, but 50, and then all across the room, through walls, still had a good reception. All right. Now, the thing that I bought was the combination of a transmitter and receiver. I'm not sure which one, but I'll look at that. A launch distance of 200. Don't do the 200. You could do that. Not really necessary. 90 is just fine. And you could also buy a single receiver, which is something I did later, but I bought this one first just to try it out. All right. Now going back to the webcam because, oh yeah, by the way, 12 euros 99. As you can see, that's really cheap. Now back to the webcam because this is it. That's one part which I bought. All right. And this is an example of another part which came along with that. I'll get it here. All right. So there it is, and that's the first one I showed. Red tip There it is. Receiver, red for receiver, black for, I don't know, transmitter. But that's it. All right, so those are the two things that you need. And I put a little marker here because they're in red. Sorry, they're in red. Because that's where you stick your pen in to make it pair, because these and these need to pair with each other. And if you add more receivers, you need to also pair the other receivers with the transmitter. But basically, this out of the box already worked. But if you want to pair more, then you have to have that little thing. And as you can see, they're all black. Well, just holes. I didn't know where to put my pen in to start pairing, so I marked it when I found out. All right, so that's what I needed. But when I got this didn't work, and the idea, I thought that you just put this in, in a socket over here. You have a normal block USB thingy. You just put it in. Let me see, like that, and then you kind of like stick it in a socket to power it up, then and then it would charge. Once it's charged, you get it up. That's what I thought, but it didn't work like that. It's just powering this thing, so you have to continuously have this in place, which is okay for the transmitter, of course, the black one. But and that will never work if you want to actually walk on stage for the receiver part. So what did we do then? We went to the Action, which in the Netherlands is kind of like a cheap store, but has good stuff. And I bought this. As you can see, it's a USB power bank. Click it and see that lights up because it kind of like says how full it is. And then basically I just kind of like put the the receiver inside of it. And there, and you see what happens if I do that. Look, it lights up. Now it's actually powered. It's working. So the green light means this receiver is currently actually receiving. And of course, this little thing over here, I just put in a socket. I'm going to do that now. Yeah, doesn't really matter which socket I use, but well, put it over there. You don't see that, but let me see it. That's okay, just put it in there. Oh God, everything's falling down. Let's not do that. I got my mouse back. All right, back again. All right. So I did that, and when you do that, I'm gonna bring it back. You simply connect the transmitter to this little over here. There it is. A little jack goes in there, and then at the end, yeah, I mean this just goes inside of your headphone, right? Or you can even put it in your laptop if you like. So that's basically it. And that works. You can put this in, I don't know, the mixer, which you use in your band, the headphone part you can use, or whatever you like. I mean, it's a jack. You know how that works. And then the sound goes from the mixer through the wire, through the transmitter, and it then transmits, of course, to the receiver. Now, everybody has this now. You can have it in your back, in one of the pockets of your pants. You can have some nice little thing. Even it's really tiny. It's like a pen size, big pen, but it's a pen size. All right. So then I also bought something different. I'll show it over here. What did I buy as well? Well, I'm going to show it on the screen now. So what I buy as well is this here, this little thing, because the output that is coming out of the receiver, that output, of course, has no volume control. So this little thing over here is costing 71 cents, and it has that volume control, as you can see, right? There it is. So back into webcam. This is the little volume control over there. Let me just scroll it up and down. You don't actually need to buy this, but it gives, I don't know, not every headset is the same, right? So this helps you to control volume of your individual headset. If you have a really loud headset, you can put it back. All right. Then you can get something else, which I also, oh, there it is. Basically, at that point, you're done, right? Because I kind of like get this little thing over here with the volume control, then put it in that jack over there. There it is. And then this little end over here. Ooh. Yeah, right. Goes into a, well, it doesn't really matter which type of headphone you use. Some of the band members even use these things, right? So that's something that you can use on your iPhone or your phone. That's, I mean, that's really basic, right? That's it. And this even has what do you call, a microphone inside you. It's not really useful on stage to use this microphone, and in this setup it actually doesn't work. Now this comes in handy for now this little thing in between that has the volume tool comes in handy for two reasons, one of which is the volume control. However, the other thing also is that if you have this headset, which is a really simple headset with a microphone, then the end has what we call a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 tipped, golden tipped, yeah, golden tipped, four tip, I don't know how they call it, four tipped or whatever. Anyway, it means that it has a stereo signal as well as a microphone signal on it. And our problem sometimes, for those that have some experience with that, is that if you put this inside of some older format simple stereo connector, then it would fail to work. It doesn't really connect, and then you don't get the sound that you actually need. Sometimes the sound even falls away. You get that with the old standard. Now the second great thing about adding this little volume control here is that this connector from the volume control part is a standard, and it takes into account that it could be used by a 4-tip male jack connector. And if I do that and click inside, there it is, I just clicked it in, then it will get all of the audio signal and not just a part of it. And that works just fine. So now if I zoom out, I have this whole little thingy over here. And as you can see the back, it is up and running. It's lighting up, meaning it's full. Put it in. And now as you can see, everything's wireless, and I can simply walk for about 15 meters without having any problems at all. So that's basically the whole setup. Now you could make it even better. One of the things you could do, because this is not really a good stage type of headset, so you could go for something different. And AliExpress also provides that for us. We love AliExpress. And that's this little thing, which I also bought. And I'm going to show it on the screen again. There it is. There. Yeah, these things I bought at once. The top one I didn't need, by the way. That is, that was the idea, was to have a set of ear tips that are a little have memory foam, and that supposedly should work better. It doesn't. Well, not for me, but this is really specific for the type of person. I say in the band, You should choose your own headset which you like, which has the price you like, and then, well, keep it like that. So, but this I thought would work for those that have special ears or something like that, but that simply doesn't. So no, no, I'm not going to use that. But I did buy this, and it does work. And there are many of these types of things on AliExpress, lots of them. But the only real good reason why you would ever want to use this is the fact that they have those. Yeah, I'll show it. Can I show it? Yeah, if I go with my mouse like this, then you see it. It has this curved thing which makes this wrap around your ear in a really nice fashion. And if you do that, I'll show that we're back in on the webcam view again. Then I can simply put this around my back. Oop, all the way around my back, and then put it there and put one in here. And basically I'm done. As you can see, if I start performing, it's not in the way. I can put my guitar over me without it bothering me. This little thing which is attached to that is in the back of my pocket or somewhere. It doesn't really matter. And if something goes wrong, then you can chuck it and nothing happens. It will just stay in there. And it really shuts down every other audio. So that's really good if you want to perform live. Also, this one also has pretty good audio. It has good bass. It has a good frequency range. So you hear exactly everything that's being used. All right. So that was one thing you could do. Popping it out again. Popping it in. And the last thing is more technical. So I'm not really gonna explain it, but perhaps I can show it. I'll try to show it on my screen. I don't know. I use Cubase together with a little sound device which I attach to my laptop. So I'm going to show that here. This is the sound device that I use. It has in total 6 lines, 4 microphone lines, and on the back 2 extra for guitar and bass and stuff like that. And that's exactly enough for my purposes. Let me see. That's okay. Now, the point is, why do I show this? The point is that this device, which I just showed you, actually has a compressor. And it should pick up recent. There it is. All right, so now that should be loading a file, and everything should be going up here. Let me show it. Right, there it is. So this is a Cubase, which I use for recording during both performance live as well as rehearsals. And hopefully you know how that basically works, but the module that I just showed you has something similar like this. I'm going to show you something that is supposedly is similar. There it is. And what it has is a standard compressor. Now the standard compressor makes sure that something interesting happens, and that is if the audio is too high, too peaky, then even if I'm using this, the signal will be distorted, and that will really break up the sound, makes it really bad. So you have to have a way to make sure those peaks don't happen. And a way to do that is to use a compressor. And this is an example compressor, but you can use any one. And in this example, my module had such a compressor. All right. I won't explain how it works. You have to figure out how that works. Your module may be different, so it's not really useful for me to explain exactly how this one works, but I can show you how this works. For instance, our bass player, I mean, he really likes to play loud. So we had a lot of, not just a bass player, everybody, but this is an example. And our bass player likes to really jam, really pull those bass strings and do all sorts of crazy things with it. So the signal level of the sound that came in really peaked often, and as a result, everybody got distorted sounds over their headsets. Now, we solved that using that compressor, and in this graph of the audio file that was recorded for the bass, you can actually see that that all of the there is no really peak that goes out there, right? So this is the dark green part, which shows you how big the signal volume is, and the light green part is the part that says, okay, you can even go louder as long as you don't go to the max, to the end of this line. And this, the nice thing, as you can see, is every time he plays too loud, we kind of like push the sound down so it doesn't get distorted if I use this. All right. So that wraps it up. Thank you very much for watching. This is a really cheap and really good solution. As a matter of fact, I've heard it to be better for those that have experienced better even than the really expensive systems that you could buy. And that's amazing because it only costs about 15 to, in total 15 to 25 euros. I'll put in the description below exactly the links and how much it costs per person, and how much it costs in total for our band to make this happen. All right, so that's it. Thank you very much, and hopefully this is very useful to you. Bye bye.